We only have one prepared speaker tonight. Lisa is a fairly new member. Lisa Reeves is a fairly new member of the Tennessee Talkers. She will not need any help from Sherry or from Dewey tonight because she is very good with both her grammar and her timing. And so Lisa is a small business owner in Clarksville, and she has just recently had some problems with the transmission on her car. And so I don't have a whole lot to talk about with Lisa, so I thought I'd throw something in. So if I can ask you then for our first prepared speaker, please help me to welcome Lisa. Go ahead, Lisa.
Hello, everybody. I am Lisa, and I am praying that I do not have transmission problems with my car, but we'll see. If the little light comes back on, it may be an issue. I really wanted to talk to you tonight about 3 things in public speaking that really ignite fire to your presentations. And as I thought about it, I thought about giving my presentation by video. And this is really changing the playing field because I really am used to presenting to people that are there where I can look them straight in the eye. And when I start smiling or laughing, looking around at these people, they usually start smiling back. Why is that? I see a lot of you smiling. That's because it's the international language, and a smile is worth 1,000 pictures, and it creates warmth to what you're talking about. So at the beginning of every speech, you should present with a smile. That's very, very important. It gives you warmth, that communicates friendliness and openness, and that's very important. So even when you're on video camera, you should still be smiling. Next is eye contact. And I read this. Does it look right now like I'm looking at each one of you? Does it? Yes? No? Because I didn't realize that when you don't look directly into the camera, it doesn't look like you're looking at anybody. So when you're looking up here or over there at all the people that are on the screen now, I'm looking around, but I'm not really looking at anybody. So when you're presenting, you make sure that you are captured in that little camera so that people can see that you are engaging and paying attention to them. And even though right now I'm not looking at any of you, I'm looking at the camera, it looks like I'm looking at all of you. And that's really important to ignite some communication between you and the people you're presenting to. The third thing, and this was really great, is your stance. And when you're presenting in any room, you're supposed to use body language that is from your waist up. And you're supposed to control your motions to waist up. You're not supposed to bend over to give things. So presenting on a video, you are supposed to sit up straight in your chair. And this is amazing, but put your feet flat on the floor because that creates tone in your voice and helps you give more rounded talk, which is wonderful for your audience. So keep your feet flat on the floor, and also put your arms back, and then do use your hands. Even though most of these videos are head and shoulders, people notice when you're moving your hands around, and that's a natural moment to actually share things with your audience. So it says to use your gestures, even if you know that people can't see them, they still know that you're using them, and it creates excitement and motion in what you're talking about. I guess the most thing is these things create a genuine environment and help you to show your audience that you are genuine and engaged. And that is really hard to do when you're on a video. So I hope these 3 tips will really help you, and you'll enjoy using them on your next opportunity to present. Thanks. It's way too short.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Like our Toastmaster was saying, table topics gives you the ability to speak impromptu when you are called upon because in any setting, we have all experienced the reaction of being asked a question that we were not expecting and being put on the spot to immediately give a response. Table topics alleviates that fear so that when it comes down to it, you can give a response and give a accurate response depending upon what you're being asked to. Me as table topics master, I have questions that I'm going to impart upon the group, and I'll look for volunteers to answer those questions. And if I don't obviously have any, then I'll have to volunteer somebody. First question is, we are getting back into the school season where everyone's going back to school either through elementary, middle school, high school, or even college. My first question is, what was, or if you are in school, is your most favorite subject?
Going to school when I was young was a very favorite thing to do. The most favorite of mine was, like in my junior year, I wanted to take physics. Now, being a country boy and working on the farm, work came before school priorities. So I did not register for a physics class that first year. And I wanted to take physics anyway. I talked with the principal and asked him to put me into the physics class. He refused. And I said, if you don't put me in the physics class, I'm going to quit school. He would not budge, and I did not budge. So I dropped out of school for a semester. And knowing all along that I would probably get back in later, but I told no one that I was going to do that. Now you got to realize that in my family were school teachers as well. So I had everyone breathing down my back during that time. However, he would not let me in the physics class. And so I did not get to take physics in high school, but I learned later on I could take it in college, and that's what I did. Mr. Table Topics Master.
My favorite subject in school was biology. And it was very fortuitous that I enjoyed biology. I took biology in my junior year, I think that's when I took it. It was eons ago, so I can't garnish my memory with anything else but that. I know that my teacher in biology also taught study hall. And that was the beautiful part, because he would let me off early to run all his errands for him. While everybody else was in study hall, I was running down the street to pay his gas bill, smoking a cigarette. And then I was running over to Sears to pay his Sears bill and smoke a cigarette. And then and he always told me before I go, he says, don't smoke too much. The regrettable thing was I had to attend afternoons in school. I had enough hours to graduate early, but they would not let you do that. And I was working 40 hours a week on top of that. So therefore, I really enjoyed my biology class and what came from it, which was the ability to go out and smoke cigarettes. And that's why I can't breathe now, Mr. Table Topics Master.
As what is your most favorite vacation location and why? What is your most favorite vacation location and why? Does anybody want to take that?
Okay, thank you for thank you for pointing at me. fine of me. So my my most favorite location for vacation is Mount Fuji in Japan. So Mount Fuji is very beautiful. And so just wait. Oh, so just wait. Hang on. Oh, okay. This is Mount Fuji. It is so beautiful, and there are many scenic runs around the Mount Fuji. So I love to just watching the Mount Fuji nearby Mount Fuji area, but I don't like to climb up the Mount Fuji because it is so hard to climb up the top of mountain. But most of Japanese and the tourists from foreign countries love to climb up the Mount Fuji. So please, if you have a chance to go to Japan, please try to climb up the Mount Fuji. Thank you.
We are all here in Toastmasters for a reason. There's various reasons why we all joined Toastmasters, how we got involved in Toastmasters, but each one of us has a reason that we are here tonight. So I'm going to ask this question of the audience for one person to answer. What is the reason and what drew you to Toastmasters and why?
I can take that question, Mr. Table Topics Master. Okay, as I stated when I first arrived, I've been a speaker for a lot of years. And like me, my colleagues who've also been speakers, oftentimes they think they know everything about everything as it relates to their craft. I'm not different from my colleagues, but I guess I would call myself a coachable person. I say often that every coach needs a coach. And I was listening to the advice of my coach that said, Derek, you've done a lot of things, but have you done Toastmasters? And I said, well, I've spoken in 33 countries around the world and 94 cities, and people love me and they laugh at all my corny jokes. But he said, but Derek, have you tried Toastmasters? And I said, well, people like me. He said, well, Derek, just go check it out, because everybody could stand to improve upon what they're doing, regardless of how good they are. And so that's why I'm here.